God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the floor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. I. How they want to see, they didn't can sell out Rasta and sell it out, and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. I. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Let's talk on the fight. Give a show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Give a show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let them see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, bring him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a blood, bring him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Good evening, Globalists. Good evening. I was going to play my second song, but the audio tell me that the audio is kicked out. Good evening and welcome. We're here this evening on a serious topic. As you can see, our housing or fraudulent housing with HAJ and NHT get pushed back a bit because I was on Fifth Element's live today and she was having an important discussion as usual. And you know, she have a particular zoom in on the whole environmental issue. So I hope you can share this live for me because this is a life and death issue for all of us. And the more we know and the more we are aware, the more we can unite and do something about it. But if we choose not to unite and do something about it, the most we can do is prepare you for the worst of what it is to come. Because the drill baby drill mentality, our prime minister is fully on board. And while the theater is unfolding in parliament, we are being sold left, right, and center. And not just being sold, we are put at great risk and great danger by our government and the multinationals on their quest for our resources on land and offshore. So we have changed what we plan to discuss this evening to discuss that. So I'm gonna share the live for me now, please, because more disasters coming to our country. Melissa is not the worst. We're going to experience worse than Melissa. Given how our government and United Oil and Gas and the direction they're going with their drilling. Something that the Jamaica public are not my manners. Oh, my bad manners. To my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. One big good evening, everybody. Honodo. Welcome. Like and share the live for me, please. As I often say when I speak on this issue, there's no information in our atmosphere that can point to us that there's oil and oil drilling going on in our country. None of the resources by the backside, the government is willing to have the conversation with the people. But particularly to the oil, the offshore drilling of the oil, that is putting us at great, great danger. Disaster on the scale that we saw in Haiti in 2010. Our governments and the multinationals really don't care because it's all for profit. But we, the people, stand to lose an awful lot. The longer we stay fast asleep, while these people are having roundtable talks on our future, roundtable talks that we are not involved in, roundtable talks that nobody is briefing us on what was discussed, what the outcome, what the plans are. Nothing. When we call on the people of Jamaica for unity, we are calling on the people for unity for many reasons. We have something to protect as well. Just like the people who have a capitalist mindset and is focused on profit, then we are to focus on one, saving our lives, two, preserve and develop our social standing, and we want to create and maintain generational wealth and improve our economic status. Now, if we sit down, allow government to continue to put us in debt, and we're not getting any benefits from it, not even the bare minimum of creating jobs to put people on the upward mobility ladder, they are not capable of doing. The services that they promise us on election campaigns, we never get them delivered. If Melissa does not wake you up to pay attention to everything, but in particularly our environment and our politics, I don't know what you're waiting for. They are warning you under the disguise of global warming, but we are warning you of the actual effects of their actions. Actions that our government failed to deny, failed to tell us about. Profiteering where the country could have benefit after, but because the government is so silent about it. If you don't go to United Oil and Gas website, you don't know there's so much activity going on in our country when it comes to do with oil and gas. The government denies it. But we find out more and more there's greater risk to what is going on. And as you are aware, Fifth Element have a particular zoom in on the environment and the issue of the drilling and all of that. I was on her live today and I came across a very peaceful, very useful piece of information, something that needs to be out there in the public. Activities of oil and gas. Japan had a 7.6 earthquake 2 days ago, and this triggered a tsunami warning. I tell you, things are heating up. There was a 5.5 earthquake in Colombia. Why? It's heating up. These people are disturbing our planet and our environment. These people are disturbing our environment and they're lying to us. Even by omission, they're lying to us. So if you don't go to Oil and Gas website, you don't know of the activities going on in our country, activities that is putting us at risk. And we're going to let Fifth Element explain to you the activities of United Oil and Gas since Melissa. And she's going to give us a few explanations from a recent report that was published by United Oil and Gas. But because them dress it up in an academic language, and she have a zoom in that area, she's going to break it down for us and tell us what it means. But between the screen recording, I had a telephone call which lasted me about 10 minutes, and I had was to pause the recording. So there's a break in the information. It's all not joined together, but all of what you will hear is useful information. Donald Trump captured Venezuela. I'll tank out in the Caribbean Sea today as well. Donald Trump is pushing for a war with Russia, you see, because we didn't try like a Russian trip as well coming to Venezuela. And Donald Trump don't fully aware say Russia is going to play back the same dirty game upon them. You see, just like how them put everything into Ukraine for Ukraine win a war, which everybody know Ukraine couldn't win, and them a lost and have well down upon their knee and Zelensky corruption and money laundering and expose. It's the same game Russia are going to play back Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not a strategist. When it comes to war in this world, nobody is as good as Putin. And Putin is going to support Venezuela to give US a good old backsliding. And China is doing everything as well to make sure Venezuela oil well does not fall in the hands of the desperate gringo of an American president. But we're going to let Fifth Element explain all this to you uninterrupted. Very, very useful information, my people. Very frightening and very threatening, if you want to say at that point as well, because there is pending disaster based on the ongoing activities of United Oil and Gas and our government who signed them these deals and license. She's also going to tell us as well actions that we can and ought to be taken in opposition to the whole of this criminality, because it's blatant criminality carried out on us by our government when they sign all these deals and give away all these licenses that disturb our environment, that puts us, the people of Jamaica, at risk. So we're going to shut up with Labamount now and make Fifth Element explain to you the danger that surrounds us.
With three-way dip closure. This is their audit report I'm reading from. Not mine, their audit report, United Oil and Gas, because they do an audit on themselves, but they don't care. Okay? If you understand, do you know what a rotated? Right here, so you know what it's sit upon? It's sit upon a rotated fault block with a three-way dip closure. A rotated fault block with a three-way dip closure. Tilted fault blocks. That is the gentle code for this piece of crust is broken and tilted along faults. That's what it means. Jamaica. Which part them I gonna dig up? And for them, you see how them pretty up the report, you see them pretty up that phrase there? A rotated fault block with a three-way dip closure. Most Jamaican, the average Jamaica have no clue what that means. Most Jamaicans don't know what the heck somebody talking about. Even if they gonna read it, they're not gonna understand what the heck these people are talking about. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? For them 7 billions of aisles sit on a rotated fault block with a three-way dip closure. What they're saying is that the fault underneath us is tilted fault blocks. It is a gentle code. Is a nice way of them saying this. This piece of crust underneath this aisle, it's broken and tilted along faults. Yeah, it's broken. So if it broke Jamaica, then gonna go miss. And Melissa, remember once again, I keep reiterating that Melissa was sitting out there for days. Excuse me. So now that they're sitting out there and them audit reports that this thing is broken. Let's start at ground zero, Jamaica. Because some people are still like, what's she talking about? Me don't really understand. So I'm not going to go up on ground zero. You can't bring any 8-year-old. I'm not going to understand me. Let's start at ground zero. What is a fault, Jamaica? These black lines are fault lines. See, I can say, Fifth Element, but what is a fault? I don't know what a fault is. They never teach me that in a school. A fault is a crack. So, a fault, this is the whole of the earth. A fault is a crack. You see this big crack right at the center of the earth? A crack in the earth's crust. See, if the wall of the earth, the wall of the fan would look like so. But when you have a fault, you have a crack. You see this big rotted crack right at the fan. When we open the fan, that's a fault. Where one side can move relative to the other. Sometimes it slips slowly, sometimes it locks and then jumps. Then when that jump is what's called an earthquake. So sometimes then go, sometimes it jump. That's when they say, oh, earthquake. Okay, so that's them slip. Sometimes they go slowly, sometimes it locks, sometimes it jump. Okay, now imagine your house is built right across that crack. So imagine this Jamaica. You see the crack? Imagine your house sit down on this crack right here, so. Imagine your house sit down on this crack. We don't say it's a little ketchup buckle, but imagine your house sit down on the crack right here, so. Right across the crack, and that's your build your house, right? Right? You might sit there 10 years and say, everything is all right, man. My house strong. And then one night at 2 a.m., a fault moves a few centimeters. And guess what happened to your wall? Them buckle. The tile them crack up and the foundation shift in a house. That is what they call a fault zone. All right? I hope you understand me. Now, what is a rotated fault block? Now that you understand a fault, an earthquake, and a fault zone, what is a rotated fault block? Because that's what this is, a rotated fault block. That's why I say calling St. Thomas, St. Andrew, Kingston, Portland, St. Mary, calling all of them. Imagine you cut a big slab out of the cross.
Globalist, like and share the live for me, please. This is very serious information. Please like and share the live for me. We're trying to keep people alert. Information that could save lives.
So, imagine, this is the whole thing. I mean, just cut one big slab out tight. So you have a big slab out tight now. Along 2 faults. It's like cutting a slice of lasagna out of a pan. You know when you make be a cake, you make your rum cake, and you cut one piece out tight. Then you tilt that slab. So one side drops down and the other side lift out. So when you cut it out, you cut it out and then you push it down on one side. Ilangoli right up. Yeah. That tilted slab is a rotated fault block. That is what the aisle sit down pad. This is where the aisle sits on a rotated fault block. See the way cut out and tilted and a dessa them want go. That's where they gone to go dig out Jamaica. This is where there's $7 billion. May I try broke it down because some people never get it when they just talk regular. So now may I go step by step so we all can see the big picture that the east is the target and the west was the warning. And when them go up there, so all hell go broke loose in a Jamaica. Remember me tell her that. This is their report. Them do all of the science behind it and the reporting. Now, on the top of the screen, the Gaffney Klein report. I want to go look it up. Multiple leads in the Moran Basin. Once again, enough lead them have enough lead, and I just this lead, but me showing them look at them up again. Me showing all of them lead because them not easy about the cage. You see all of them leads there, all of them blue boxes. Those are eye leads, huh? In the Moran Basin, so much eye lead them up. Why would you think when I feel so much earthquake? I think I just 1, 2, 3. Look how much of them. Big boomer. Look how much of them down there. All right. You have the moon rocker, the money penny, the golden eye, the jaws. They're all mapped. And every last one of these, they call them rotated fault blocks on the East Coast. Every last, you so much of them, enough of them. Look at all, okay, follow these lines. These blue lines lead out to the names of the leads. And all of these blue lines that you see sits on a rotated fault block. Do you understand what's going on, Jamaica? If you don't understand on the top of the screen. No, man, on the top of that screen. If you don't understand what's going on, say yes if you understand what's going on. Every last one of these leads, because it's just not one. I always talk about the big one because of that. Let me depend. But it's more than one on the East Coast, Jamaica. Okay? It's not just one lead. No. Look how much of them there. So, and the one of them sit on rotated fault block. What do you think? Me tell them that the East is the target and the West is the warning. And all the things that joke me make. When they build up them new city in the West, the East are the big target. All right? What does that mean for you, Jamaica? It means the very structure they want to use as a quote unquote tank for oil is literally built out of broken, tilted pieces of crust. And that's before we even pump anything in or out. So before we even gonna go pump anything in or out, that's what we're sitting on, Jamaica. So, a 3-way dip plus a fault closure, because that's how they like to put it up, right? The next term that they use in their report, so when you go look up the Gaffney Klein report, you're going to see all of these terms. I mean, I brought them down for you. The next term that they use is a 3-way dip and fault closure. Do you know what that means? Picture a bowl tilted on a table. Yeah, picture you have one bowl. And and it tilt on the table, right? So you have this ball and the ball tilt on the table. So turn up, sit down right. On 3 sides, the bottom of the ball slopes up. That's 3-way dip. On the 4th side, instead of a slope, you have a fault well, a broken edge keeping the fluid in. That is the kind of trap they like offshore. 3 sides closed by dipping layers, 1 side closed by a fault. Boy, Jamaica, we in some problems. Jamaica, we in problems. The East is the target, the West is the warning. Jamaica, we in problems. You see all of them blue box there, and which part is snung pan. That's why I start brought down everything. So what is the trap? Depending on, you see that the fault behaves itself for millions of years and never opens or never leaks. So that's what it is. In a neotectonic era, remember I explained what neotectonic means. Neotectonic means new and active fault, okay? In a nutshell, I broke it down earlier. With recent deformation and major earthquakes in historical times, it's a huge assumption. Remember, so Hurricane Melissa just swung over there. But in the investor slide, they don't say it like that. They say attractive, large, 3-way fault closure leads. That wicked. You see, when them farm it out to the investors for coming, let me tell you the word them use. They say it's an attractive. You see what they're wicked? Large, 3-way fault closure lead. What a wickedness, Jamaica. If you get money, $2.3 million they get already, this they did in the month alone last month. Okay? Instead of telling people what it really is, they say it's an attractive. What attractive about unaliving people through earthquake? What is attractive about broken fault lines and cracks in our earth? Tell me what is attractive about that. And they talk about billions of barrels. They never show you the risk the same way. That's all they talk about. That's why I keep telling you, Thunderbolt is them 7 billions. Now let me show you the confession they buried in the fine print of their audit report. Because they buried it in the fine print of the audit report. Still in the Gaffney-Klein report, when they describe the JAWS lead, which is on here, because I'm telling you, all of these are leads. All of them blue boxes, all around Jamaica are eye leads. And I'm going to dig up the whole of the seabed. I'm telling you that, so they never believe me. See their phone itself. I fit them map that. The whole of the seabed, I'm going to dig up. All right. Over fault lines. Rotated fault blocks. Let's just get that clear, because that's their own words. All right. So when they describe the JAWS lead in the Moran Basin, this is what they say about the JAWS lead. The JAWS is a rotated fault block with 3-way dip closure. What that sound like to you, Jamaica? Explain what a rotated fault block is. Explain what a 3-way dip closure is. And if one of them lead, all of them lead the way you see right, a sit-down pan, a rotated fault block, not just a rotated fault block alone, but with a 3-way dip closure. What do you think we sit-down pan? A ticking time bomb, Jamaica. It has the only strong seabed expression of all the leads. The way the shallow sediments unlock onto it makes them say the structure may be neotectonic, meaning it has undergone recent deformation. That means it has undergone some changes. And then the line structural integrity is an identified risk. Because like I said, they use technical terms, so they just browse over it, but I broke it down for now. So let me break down in plain language the fact that they say it's a broken, tilted block. That's what they say in their report. It's a nice way, a nice and simple way of saying it's not a nice, simple bowl. The seabed above is disturbed. You can see it on the seismic. The pattern of the younger sediment tells them this thing has moved recently. So they know based on their own research, so everything and their documents that this area and the plates and the faults has moved recently. They know that. They know for a fact. They admit outright that the structure might not hold together properly. So them know that this might not hold properly, but them don't live here. So them don't care. So it's their language, people. This is not my feelings. This is their language. They know that this will not hold. So I am going to explain. Because some of them might say, but Luna, fifth element, that is Jaws. That's not Thunderbolt. So let me go back to Thunderbolt because I like show up Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, pick up yourself. See Thunderbolt there. Them pride. This is their prize and joy. I see them hide a whole heap of the other leaves. That's why I have to pull up the other map for showing the other ones. But this is their prize and joy. This is their 603 millions of barrels of oil. So that's their pride and joy. Yes, there's plenty of other leaves I'm gonna dig up, but that right there, I'm gonna give them all of the money. That's why them love that one there, right? That's about that one there. I'm gonna unalive the whole of it. So you're gonna say a lunar skyfire, fifth element. You're talking about Jaws, the other lead. That's not Thunderbolt right here. Yeah, true. But watch the pattern. You see all those Morant leads, Thunderbolt, Moonraker, Money Penny, all of the ones that we just shown up on the previous map. Blowfield, Golden Eye, Jaws are the same base. They're built out of the similar fault bound blocks. All of them rotate over here. So let me show you. You see which part? Them big ones there. Look at a point right in there. So all right, now I'll go back to the other map to show you all of the other lead them. So you can see what me I talk, what me I show you. So now look, you see it? The one of them point, which part? Jamaica, which part the one of them point pan? Come, see the one of the lead on the east there. Let me show you them prize and job, but let me show you them backup plans. Which part them point out? Pan. See them over the same spot. All right. Let me go back to your Thunderbolt. So the report says straight that Morant Basin is poorly constrained. Limited seismic and high-risk frontier. They call this a high-risk frontier. And it's poorly constrained. The whole entire area is neotectonic. This whole area is neotectonic. So if one lead in that same system is already showing movement, so one of them leads in the area is already showing movement and structural integrity risk, what do you think that says about the stability of the entire fault block playground that they're targeting? This is where your common sense must kick in before the oil rig does, Jamaica. How much I want to have common sense? On the top of the screen. Somebody said, why are they going to drill if there are movements? You didn't hear his statement after the hurricane? Oh, you didn't see Brian Larkin's statement? Let me see. Let me put up Brian Larkin's statement for you. Right after the hurricane, because they don't care about us. It's that simple. This is Brian Larkin's statement. So let me read his statement for you, plain as day. Let me read his statement for you. So Brian Larkin, Chief Executive Officer of United Oil and Gas, commented, while Jamaica focuses on recovery from the recent hurricane, United remains fully committed to supporting the country and advancing. This is how they're going to support us, Jamaica. Advancing our planned operations. That is his comment right after the hurricane. So ask the question again, dude. Ask the question again. Why are they doing this? Because it owes $7 billion US. And they really don't care about us. That's why they're doing it. That was his comment after the hurricane. But people down on the west now have nowhere to live. People down on the west are homeless, mash up, flatten. His comment is in my focus upon the east. Come and tell us that the east are the target. So the thing I joke me that make. But the thing I joke me that the east are the target. The west was just the them now listen. Now, let's talk about the disturbed seabed. We don't know if Melissa sat over here for days, just rotating. What do you think she was doing while she was doing that? Making it more unstable. It was already unstable. She's already making it more unstable. So I already talked about the faults, the tilted blocks. We're going to talk about the seabed itself. And I'm going to tell you what their own slide deck, the one United Oil and Gas published this year, June 2025, as an introduction to the Walton Moran prospectivity. So in that presentation, they show images of a seabed with pock marks. Their own caption said, pock marks indicated fluid escape at seabed associated with underlying Mesozoic highs and faults. Pock marks is not a cute word, Jamaica. Let me just make that straight. Pock mark is not a cute word. It means that there are holes, pits, scars on our seabed. This is what they published in June 2025, even before the hurricane. I tell them, I talk to them, I blew before the hurricane. And then the hurricane come and sit on out here for days. This is their report. They said that out here has holes, pit, scars in the seabed where fluids have punched through the sediment from below. So think of when gas is bubbling through soup on a stove. The bubbles rise, break the surface, and leave little craters. This is the same idea, only now the soup is kilometers of rocks and mud. And the bubbles could be methane gas or other fluids migrating up faults. So that's how we talk about the answer. We are run away from people. We talked about that earlier. The cracks in their tiles, their walls, the rotten egg smell. All of this because the seabed was already unstable, Jamaica. And now, I know I sound stuffed up because I'm really stuffed up. No. But I said, I come up and come do this. And it needs to be done. Even in the stuffiness. When it hit all things, name government, I got peer. The people. Hey. When it hits, your people might not make it because if you don't understand, it's going to create a massive earthquake and then a massive tsunami, and then you already know the coastlines, what coastlines going to look like. Okay? They also talk about seismic blanking and shallow amplitude anomalies above those Mesozoic highs to the southwest of one of their main properties, Colibri, which is over here. Let me translate that. When they fire sound waves into the earth and record the echoes, because that's what they do when they do piston core. When they fire these sound waves into the seabed to record the echoes of these. The reflections above some of these structures looked washed out, disturbed, different. That's often a sign that fluids or gas have messed up the normal layering. So between the pock marks and the strange seismic signatures, the seabed is literally screaming. Fluids have moved through here. The system is active. Somebody said, use some honey with turmeric. Trust me, I've done all of that. Let me show this up. You see that? I make onion and garlic and ginger this morning. You see this? This is turmeric, onion, garlic, honey, little lemon. What else tonight? Somebody say, you think she a God? I'm gonna check some more. Tastes good too. They sit down for days and cure. So everything cure outside, all of them. So this is all I do. On the top of the screen. Tap, tap, tap. There's somebody upset on here. But okay, so listen. I'm gonna put on my
If you like Button Global, let's share the live, please.
You're welcome, Motion. But I have to put this out. As soon as I go out to the sun, I go, all right, I just need to go out to the sun pretty soon. It's just a hot what I do. The Gaffney Klein report also mentioned oil slicks and seeps offshore. You see those green things? They're oil slicks and seeps. Like Blowers Reef seep in the Walton Basin and oil shows in 10 or 11 historical wells. They use that to prove that thermogenic hydrocarbons have already been generated and expelled. So they admit that oil and gas have been moving, and they show pop marks where fluids has escaped. They show disturbed seabed above faults, and they admit the whole region is neotectonic and recently deformed. And they tell Jamaica, now this is how wicked them is. Their FIDEM audit report and FIDEM report said that the seabed is disturbed and the stuff is active and it's recently deformed, but then they turn around and tell Jamaica, say, don't worry, it's safe. We're doing a modern survey. Hey, tell me if Jamaica that fool or that money hungry. So you tell me the wall of this is moving, unstable, is a ticking time bomb, can go boom, sit so, it's tilted rock, all kind of something. But you're safe. Don't worry. That's what they say to Jamaica. Don't worry, Jamaica. We're doing modern. What modern survey are they doing when the same company went up belly up in Egypt? This is the same broke company. Oh, let's not forget that. I know, right? Somebody want to tap up the screen. Thank you, Taino. Tap up the screen. This needs to go out. This needs to go out to people. Want to tap, man, tap. I'm going to go on a chance to stop. I'm going to give you a chance to stop. Because you know what I know? I'm going to talk about Brian Larkin's lifeline versus your life. I'm going to tap the screen. I don't want to hear. If him like, what is his lifeline versus the life of Jamaica? Tap the screen. I'm going to talk about the man whose signature is under most of this. All of this that I'm talking about, his signature is underneath it. So on the top. Want to reach 40, man, top. Welcome, big up yourself. Great awakening, Shay Sab. Zion. Grand Rising. And I'm in the city. Grand Rising, Great Awakening on the top. 41 go before me tell you what Brian Larkin want to do, you know. If you're from St. Mary, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, I'm not saying the rest of the country don't need to be on here. The whole world needs to be on here. But Uno definitely need to be on here. Because a lot of Uno things that Uno really safe. Everybody is talking about the West. But I'm telling you, so the West is the one and the East is the target. That's where billions of money sit. And the East, them give back light for the most part. Some people have light, and they might try to make we calm and normal. While them out there brew a storm. Oh yeah, them brewing up a storm. They're not done with me yet. Yes, they're not done with me yet. I'm not done with me yet, Jamaica. So we have to prepare ourselves because, you know, we have to prepare ourselves. Prepare ourselves because them are come for we. Them are come for Uno. You see the St. Thomas and you see poor all are gonna sink. Them are come and them are come. Oh yeah, more disaster coming. When you think it done, it just a come. So let's talk about the man whose signature is under most of this. Anybody know whose signature is under most of this? If you know who's been signing off on most of this, type it in the comments. If you know whose signature is on all of this, put it in the comments. We really want to know. Whose signature temperature you think is on most of this? Oh, me don't say. We can't laugh. Yeah, man, them sell out long time. They get them back cut already. Vaz, Anjo. What the other one name? Mark Golden. All of them signature upon it. Me know it hurt some people's heart when them hear the Mark Golden signature upon it. But all of them, two of them, the whole of them said so. Them cahoots. Them in cahoots. Them in cahoots. Remember them in cahoots, okay? The whole of them signature upon it. I start out with the PNP and it continue with the two of them in a bed together. So neither of them. Yes, the two of them in a bed together. Whether I want to believe it or not, the two of them lie down in a bed together. Paul Caldwell, it started out with. And it continued under the other administrations. So yes, the two of them in a bed together. That's why I keep telling people, if this was a good thing for Jamaica, Mark Golden would have campaigned and said, listen, there is oil, and if you no vote me in, I'll make sure Jamaica economy based on this and blah, 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 blah. But they both knew. That's why they argued about foolishness like burnt paper, okay? They both knew that they could not tell the Jamaican people straight like that. Because why? Vaz had already came publicly and said, the island there, Jamaica, and not like that I'd be a lie, while he was shaking hands with I might have got his name, but it's some Paul. I'll tell you the name in a minute. Sometimes the names them slip me up. Because it's been like 2014 time frame, like that way back then. So, yeah, that's why I can't remember my name right now. Paul Well, something like that. Anyway, but Brian Larkin, the CEO of United Oil and Gas, he signs off on all this stuff. In interviews and briefings, he talks about Jamaica as a unique frontier opportunity because he says he has the government 100% backing behind him. He already said it. This is a European company and he's from Ireland. And he said the Jamaican government is backing him 100%. Okay? So he has the backing of the Jamaican government 100%. Both of them. Yes, he's from Ireland. He said that Jamaica is a unique frontier with billions of barrels of potential and possibly he calls Jamaica. Anybody know why he calls Jamaica? What is Jamaica to United Oil and Gas? Anybody know what Jamaica is to United Oil and Gas? If somebody in us get it, I'm going to say, yes, when I listen, because from months now, I'm telling you when call Jamaica. What do Brian Larkin call Jamaica? The CEO of United Oil and Gas. What does he call Jamaica? Anybody know? And what we need to do, I will start. Why would you tell me, say, a school bus to the wall talk about? Because why election was around the corner, I was so distracted by the simplest, foolish things. Simplest, foolish things when they're distracted. You guys were more concerned with the yellow school buses than you are with your lives. So now that's what I see. What happened in Ascenty and Black River and up on the west. Baby, we're not going to listen and understand that the east is still the target. And there are signs that are coming up. Red ants have flood up people's yard. Tiles are crack up. Wall are crack up. Methane, people are smelling a rotten smell. Small tremors are happening every single day constantly. Them signed the contract. United will sign it less than 2 weeks after the hurricane. November 10, 12, them signed it. But you never want to listen to me. But tell us that Jamaica is not equipped to deal with mass casualty. The west is the warning, the east is the target. After a hurricane, the pressure change. Sediment shift and seabed stress make the system even more sensitive. Melissa sat out here for days. What did you think she was doing out there? She was disturbing the already disturbed and weak seabed that we have. The already fragile seabed. That is why scientists watch quake patterns after storms. The sea floor moves, it reorganizes, and it breathes. To the top of the screen. Top of the screen.
Globalists were in very great danger. They're put in danger by our
To the top of the
politicians.
screen. And they want to go right into that system with metal pipes and pressure system, huh? They're out there right now, Jamaica, because they have to produce 40 to 60 samples before January. That's what Brian Larkin says. So they're out here right now, digging with metal pipes over a fault lines and rotated fault blocks. Right now, yes, 40 to 60 sediments they want to pull out with iron probes. Do you guys understand what that means? Melissa, sit down out as up in years. That's why they're talking about Jamaica go get a big earthquake. Because they know what they're do. Them start prepare your mind for big earthquake. So you can't say, yeah, man, Melissa caused the big earthquake. Them know what them out there and do November 10 to 12. Them God out there. So them know what them do, but them want to prepare in the mind so when things happen, guess what? Oh, it was due to Melissa. They soon come back again, don't worry. What a high-risk frontier base means for real people. The same audit that I'm telling you about calls the Morant Walton area a high-risk frontier basin. Why would you go out here and drill and you call this a high-risk frontier basin? It sounds fancy, but let me translate. High risk means Jamaica holds the danger. Frontier means Jamaica is the experiment. Remember, say, anytime they go on a frontier, I experiment, I'm experimenting. So Jamaica absorbs all the risk and the disaster. On the top. Buhari 75. What the pioneer sound of that top? Go on the top. So TikTok can share this out more. People need to hear this because it's serious.
Sorry, like and share the live for me now, please. Like and share the live.
Make sure the TV
Guys. The Jamaican to be aware of this information.
When they say frontier, they mean we don't know enough, but we will try anyway. When they say risk, they mean if something goes wrong, Jamaica takes the blame. When they say risk, it means if something goes wrong, it's wrong on us, Jamaica. So let's talk about the fishermen in Moran Bay, the vendors in Port Antonio, the families in Bull Bay, children in Harborview, the entire. If a seabed collapse, gas blow out, or the pressure kick happens in a tilted fault block system, because that's what this is, a tilted fault block system. Jamaica does get a small problem, okay? Jamaica gets dead fish, methane pockets, coastal contamination, tsunami and undersea salt failure, tourism collapse, displacement. One mistake in a frontier basin can erase entire communities. The East should be on here now when you come to the front of the line. If you are from a coastal parish, go to the type of the parish that it's chat. Because I need to know who I'm talking to. I want to make sure I talk to the right people. If you come from a coastal parish, especially from the East, type your parish in. Said Catherine, said Mary, big up yourself, Mary. Catherine, big up yourself. Two parts that kickstart, said James. Okay. Where's said Thomas?
Who? Digi, her channel on YouTube and on TikTok is called The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element. Once you type it in, you will find her. Very useful information, and she hosts our live them during the day, but always powerful information on the environment.
Clarendon, big up yourself. Said Odd, said Elizabeth, said T, big up yourself. Said T, great, okay. Kingston, why, we feel sorry for them. But you see how they can't lift up on them ready. Vaz telling them to go, use, I was trying to tell them to go use the hospital, and then they fly out, go get surgery. Okay? You see how they can't fly out left for them? Every minute they fly out left for them, they lift up left for them. Every minute they fly out left for them. Every minute they fly out left for them. All right. But I telling us something. There are certain gases that get escaped, like methane gas, and then they have the invisible unalivers. Gas is silent, gas is invisible, but it's deadly. And in the Marat Basin, they're already, these people, United Oil and Gas, is already admitted that fluids are escaping. That's why we are getting these weird, you see that? That's why the red ants are come up, tiles are cracked, you smell, there's a rotten smell. Them own reports say fluids already are escaping. That includes gas migration. Now let's break down methane. Methane is explosive. It's able to travel through fractures. It's able to displace oxygen. That means it run with oxygen. It's able to accumulate and you won't smell it. So it can build up in your house and you don't even smell it. When methane escapes through a faulted seabed with pock marks, that means the pressure system below is already moving. Oil and gas disasters don't start with a big boom, Jamaica. They start with a small leak, a small pressure imbalance, a small casing failure, a small fault movement, and suddenly the entire system becomes uncontrollable. If you live in Kingston, if you live in Bull Bay, if you live in St. Thomas, if you live in Port Royal, if you live in Yalis, or anywhere along the southeast coast, you are the closest to the Morant fault system. Somebody said, do you know C3 metals? C3 metals, King Ken, I'm just going to say this and I'll go back on topic. They're digging out our gold and our copper from our land. And if they do that, they destroy our limestone and our water system gets contaminated. That's how I did a whole thing for that the other day. So yes. So while C3 metals dig out our land, United Oil and Gas dig out our seabed, what a combination. Can you see the combination? One destroy our water. Of course, St. Anne's in trouble. If you live on the coast, you're in trouble. Yes, the water is cloudy. That's a part of the whole thing. The water get cloudy, then it get clean, then it get cloudy. Even you boil it, and you boil the water, because I've done the experiment. I boiled the water, and it just, you can see all of the stuff. All of the stuff when you boil it. Okay? Gas migrate. You are closest to the Morant Basin Fault. You see right here, so is where I'm going to. Let me show you a map. Let me show you another map. I don't just this alone. We just show you this because this are them pride and joy. Thunderbolt. But let me actually show you all of the leads that they have in your area so you can see for yourself when am I going. Okay, so you see all of these boxes are all of their oil leads. Look on the East Coast. But why you focus over here, so because over here, so you know see, but over here, so You see, all of this are them leads, all of this, and all it pointed upon fault lines. Okay, they are fault lines, and it's over rotated fault blocks. These are all their leads. I was just showing you the one that is their prize and joy. So understand that off the back. How can we stop them? Somebody asked, how can we stop them? You don't allow me to talk about this. Somebody say it's too late. No. Yeah, because Jamaica absorb all the risk. Motion, so that's a good question. So we can do a couple things. We can attack the NEPA permit process and every new permit. That way they don't get no more permits to do anything. NEPA's own permit process and the NCRA Appeals Tribunal rules show that environmental permits and beach licenses are issued by the NCRA, the NRCA, NEPA under the NRCA Act, which decisions can be challenged through appeals, mainly for applicants, and judicial review in the Supreme Court by affected citizens and NGOs. So Jamaican courts do accept public interest environmental challenges. So that's one thing we can do.
Bear with me, I'm going to put the link to the panel in the chat.
I'm just telling you the legal. Somebody asked, I'm just giving it to you. We will have to get an environmental lawyer. But we already know the food system corrupt. So, yes, very corrupt. So you would have to, it's a lot you have to do. You have to, Jamaica's government is actively supporting United Oil and Gas. So know that they have the government behind them 100%. Darrell Vaz told Parliament that United Oil and Gas has already spent $39.3 million US over 10 years offshore. The very Vaz that telling us in the island they on the stop list to people. Darrell Vaz told the Parliament that United Oil and Gas has already spent $39.3 million US over 10 years offshore. The license has been extended, environmental permits granting, and new work perform license issued. Okay? So to stop them, you would have to make this politically dangerous. So name plus shame with precision. You can't just say government wicked. You have to call Minister Vaz, the Prime Minister, the MPs for the coastal constituencies. And then you have to ask them, why are they backing a high-risk frontier oil play in a neotectonic basin when Belize already put a moratorium to protect their reef and tourism? You have to do constituency pressure, organize town halls in Moran Bay, Port Moran, Port Antonio, Bull Bay, Harbour View, Rocky Point, Black River, etc. Put local MPs on the spot. Will you support a moratorium on offshore drilling in the Walton Moran area until an independent regional risk assessment is done? You have to tie it into the hurricane and climate reality. Use international and regional pressure. You cannot fight alone. So Caribbean and global NGOs, okay? You have to use international stuff. So it's a lot. On the top of the screen. And And you have to build it smart. You can't build it loud. Because you already know us that we live in our corrupt system. So we stop them by turning your fire into focus using law, public pressure, international shame, and investor fear to make Jamaica too risky and too costly to exploit. That's what you have to do. But how many of y'all are willing to stand up to the government? You only see a few people. But I watch the screen. I go up. Yeah, King Kid. I told you, it's their jewel in the crowd. They say Jamaica is the jewel in the crowd. It's their lifeline. So do or die, they're going to drill, baby, drill. So if they don't care about the lives of Jamaica, they don't care. And that's why I've been trying to tell people this for months now. There's a petition out there on change.org. You have to, like I said, you have to turn the fire into focus. You have to get a lawyer, environmental lawyer, have public pressure, international shame, and investor fear. So you have to get the lawyer and submit it to the Supreme Court using Hurricane Melissa, the environmental, climate change, NEPA on the NRCA was active. After you put everything, the lawyer will know how to put it all together to stop them from going further. This, and they create international pressure. So the international community shame them internationally, where the to shame them international, where the investors are no longer excited, wanting to do business, or they're skeptical of actually coming in because it's too, people don't like business. People don't like when there's too much chaos and confusion, and that type of pressure. You put pressure on your MPs, and you put pressure on your member of parliament and all the people. That for the coastal constituency to say that how many lives are going to be lost, the fisheries, everybody would have to get involved. But they're not going to get involved. That's why I said just get prepared for whatever is coming. Because most Jamaicans, they're reactors, not proactive. They're not proactive, they're reactive. They're reactive, not proactive. And that's the issue we have here. We are more reactive than proactive. Of course. Put the top of the screen, please.
Globalists, thank you for watching. This is where we leave this for tonight because we want this information to be on its own. The most that you can do if you care and concern, share this to your family, your friends, your communities, because it is important that Jamaica hears this information. TikTok is not a channel that when you do a live over there, it saves your live like or live on YouTube. So some of the brilliant information that she put out on a day-to-day basis is not really captured. Sometimes she put out some short videos, but sometimes she do some live which hosts a lot of useful information. So her TikTok channel is pinned in the top of the chat. Sorry, where you can make sure you check out her channel, and you might well come across her when she's doing her live. But the information is very, very powerful. But share this information because we are in danger. Danger we're put in by our politicians, both sides of the coin, PNP and labor rights. They both stand to gain. Philip Paulwell first gave them the license in 2014, and the JLP government continues the trend. Nobody will talk to us, though, about the risk that are involved. Nobody will speak to us about what the benefit, if at all, any, for the people of Jamaica. In total silence while we are about to lose our life. So make sure you share this live so people can be aware of the information. So I want to thank you very, very much for being here with us tonight. And please do join us back tomorrow. Hopefully, not more emergency crops up, but we can get to zoom in on the government scam with NHT and HAJ. But as I said to you in the meantime, there's a video on Lat1 Boy channel on YouTube. Brompton Manor, that's a NHT housing scheme in St. Elizabeth, wrecked by Melissa. And you want to see the building violation, the building regulation violation of the National Housing Trust. We're quite much already aware of the building violation of Housing Association of Jamaica. And we're going to do a special on both of them. In the meantime, you watch that video that's on Lat1 Boy page, and you will see the ripoff, the ripoff that Jamaica people have to endure. And now, a lot of the money investment are left lying in ruins. Something that could be possibly avoided if HAJ and the National Housing Trust did not violate building regulations. But thank you very much for being here tonight. Join us back tomorrow morning when we start the fight all over again. Good night.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on less process. For children of Israel to really love right. That's why I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I she never hold thy peace. How long is going on? Day or night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down, war cry. Fight down. We say Rastafari. War and cry. And do that righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love people. Put time away, listen, yeah. Just as I as the watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold thy peace, but we are penalized. Hey, oh, night. We gonna pass down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down, war and fight. Fight down, war and fight. Rastafari, war and fight. And build up righteousness. When we love Jah, and we love Jah. And we love Jah. Rastafari. We love God. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Rastafari. We love Jah. Rastafari. We love God. We love Jah. Rastafari.